Announcer, the current pressure on Ukraine is the heaviest, and the country itself may find itself facing a difficult choice: lose a key partner or lose its dignity. This was stated by President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky in his address to the Ukrainian people on the occasion of Dignity and Freedom Day. He added, "The national Ukrainian interest must be taken into account, and Ukraine will seek a constructive search for solutions with our main partner, the United States. The enemy will not be given any arguments to accuse Ukraine of disrupting the peace negotiation process, although the coming days will be extremely difficult."
Volodymyr Zelensky, I will fight to ensure that at least 2 points are not omitted from the entire plan. These are the dignity and freedom of Ukrainians, because everything else is based on this: our sovereignty, our independence, our land, our people, and the Ukrainian future. We will and must do everything so that the result is the end of the war and not the end of Ukraine, the end of Europe, or the end of global peace. The coming week will be very challenging, full of events. You are an adult, intelligent, conscious people who have proven this more than once and who understand that at this time there will be a lot of pressure, political, informational, and various other pressures to weaken us.
Alexander Truba.
Volodymyr Zelensky discussed the details of the American proposals regarding a possible format for ending the war and further steps to achieve lasting peace in a phone conversation with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. They spoke for almost an hour. The Ukrainian leader emphasized that Kyiv is considering the White House's proposals and is working to ensure that any further course of action is acceptable and effective for both sides. Prior to this, the draft peace plan was discussed by the leaders of Ukraine, France, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Volodymyr Zelensky called Emmanuel Macron, Keir Starmer, and Friedrich Merz. The Ukrainian president thanked the countries for their principled support of Kyiv and noted that any plan must ensure a just peace. And Keir Starmer once again emphasized that, first and foremost, Ukraine's interests must be taken into account.
Kyiv. I spoke with President Zelensky, President Macron, and Chancellor Merz. This was an opportunity for us to once again emphasize that our support for Ukraine is unwavering, as is the very important principle that all issues related to Ukraine must ultimately be decided by Ukraine itself. We all want a just and lasting peace. This is what the American president wants as well. This is what we all want. That is why we need to move toward this goal. But the principle that Ukraine must determine its own future based on its sovereignty is fundamental.
Alexander Truba, sanctions against Russian oil will remain in force during the discussion of the American peace plan. U.S. President Donald Trump stated this in a Fox News podcast. According to him, the U.S. will not do anything regarding lifting the sanctions in the near future. Trump called them very powerful and said that they would seriously complicate the sale of Russian oil.